Welcome. To randomly see these events is pretty crazy. When you speak about Hollywood, sometimes those things don't go in your favor. It don't normally work the way you think it's gonna work. And in Hollywood, a lot of people they come in blazing. Now you got to remember, it's always those people that come up with you that know you the longest that you got to take care of. Now, oh, I'm not ruining Will's memory at all. I'm not the one Will Smith is even thinking about right now. He ain't worried about me. His whole concern is what's happening in his own inner circle. And his inner circle used to be tight. There's a lot of things that were going on. And Jaguar Wright, not Smith. Oh God, she probably would freak out. She heard that. Was enlightening you to some of the things that was happening in that circle. Oh, thank you, Clarence, for telling people to do that. Definitely hit the like button. You've all heard these stories about these people. The way they carry themselves, you pretty much know something was going on. But everybody else was speculating. They didn't know firsthand knowledge. You wouldn't want to know firsthand knowledge. Now you have firsthand knowledge because Brother Bilaal, who you guys see right, wrong way, that way, Brother Bilaal, who's Will Smith's one of his best friends and personal assistant. At one time, he was personal assistant to Jada and Will Smith. If there was ever, he's been around Will since the beginning. And to see this happen with Will is unheard of. It's unheard of. He wrote a book called Will Smith Demon Circle. Will Smith's Demon Circle is the name of the book. So when you start seeing that as your title of the book, you already know there's going to be some explosions to happen right around here. Now, what he said is that his book was supposed to come out before Jada's book. Because I heard they have submerged his book to the ground. Because I saw one brother did an interview with him first. And shouts out to Tasha K for giving it the exposure with him for his book so he can get his words out. But there's another brother that did an interview with him, and it was on YouTube, and they just pushed that all the way to the ground. They pushed it to the ground. Now, I haven't read the book, so I don't know what's all in this book. But when Brother Bilaal wrote this book, he's talking about a whole circle. And My thing is he prepared for what's going to happen? This is somebody who was big in Hollywood or knew all the A-listers, Jamie Foxx, Method Man. Like, it's hip hop royalty. He knew. So when Tasha K brought him on her platform, this was going to get big. This was going to be big. And with the title of his book looking the way it did, I said, I don't know about that. Look at the title of his book. Look at that. Will Smith, Demonic Sir. Look at the title of that. Brother Bilaal's book. And he knew this book was coming out. And Will Smith could not stop this book from coming out. Yeah. So, by him being a personal assistant, he has seen every stage of what was happening. But he was a little bit off. Just a little bit. He was right, but a little bit off when it came to Jada. Just a little bit. In one of his interviews, he definitely was a little bit off. Now, he had definitely told a situation that Jada Pinkett, whose mom was strung out bad on drugs, and he said, this is by her own words. Her mom was strung out drugs. She's in the streets of Baltimore. She's hanging out with these drug dealers. She's the prettiest girl in Baltimore. She's in all these beauty pageants and winning these talent shows. And these drug dealers don't want nothing from you. And they just giving you $200 and they giving you work, but they don't want nothing from you. He's like, you figure that out. Here's what he didn't know, where he made it out. Like, he made her mom to be like strung out till she couldn't move. Like she's just completely out of it all of that. She was a functioning addict. She had a job. She worked. That's the only thing Brother Bilaal had wrong. Her mom they weren't at a position where the lights and gas is off and they don't know how they're going to make it because mom's just strung out all the time. That wasn't the case. She was a functioning addict. She paid her bills. She took care of her business. She was not, she didn't even know it. Jada didn't even know it half of her time until she just saw her mom just be nodding off and stuff, but she didn't know until she started to figure it out. Like, she'll forget to pick her up because she didn't nod it off because, from school and stuff. So she was running the streets with these dudes. And yeah, I'm quite sure because Jada dated dealers. They got mad and YouTube did because I put out the video with Nia Long. And I'm like, they said it out their own mouth. Jada got a book talking about it. Nia Long just told Jeezy, I used to date a dealer. I know. When I was in high school, I was dating dealers. So that's how she was moving when she was in high school. And the dude she was dating wasn't in high school. They were older. This was going to be on Patreon. So that's why a Patreon version is going to be a lot different. This is tasteful. so that people could hear it, Now, the biggest thing to get everybody's attention that he's seen so far, that he's reported on Tasha K's show, and shouts out to Tasha K for doing this explosive interview to give it the exposure, because he's been telling people about this in his book for the longest. Now, he mentioned Dwayne Martin and Will Smith, um, because he was the assistant. He had a key to Will Smith's trailer. He had a key to Dwayne Martin's trailer because, they were on a set, and while he has to go look for Will, they were looking for Will. They was like, look, we need him here now. Where is he? And he see Will's cars there, and he had to run around looking for Will. And oh yeah, on the Patreon, yes, we do have the Suge Knight, Snoop Dogg, and Dr. Dre situation that went on, which what Suge said that was true. Some things he said that wasn't true. That's right now burning up on the Patreon right now. So what's weird in this situation is Brother Bilaal has always like been loyal to Will. So to see this go left was the biggest shock probably anybody in this whole industry would ever believe. Like, if you would ever believe anything, you would not believe Brother Bilaal would be the one that would turn on Will Smith. Something bad had to happen here in order for that to happen. When you have a circle, that circle has to be impenetrable. And especially from people that really know you from day one, you want to stay glued. You want to have that circle tight. You don't want you don't want that circle to break, especially if you know they know things about you. If you're Will Smith, you should know I gotta have this dude tied down with so many NDAs. He would never be able to make this accusation or anything if he's to break the circle. Nothing. And here's another thing. Why is he doing this? Why is Brother Bilaal doing this? Even if, let's say all of this is true. Not saying that it isn't true, but let's just say that's the case, right? Why now? I mean, why you want to tell this man's personal business for? Like, expose him and try to destroy his career by admitting what he was doing, that you walked in on him and Dwayne Martin in the middle of an act. They weren't acting, but in the middle of an act. Why do you feel the need to want to say that? That's the bizarre part of it. Like, I just didn't. So maybe I would have to read the book to get the more understanding of the why him and Brother Bilaal fell out. But it's not shocking to anybody, the accusation of Will Smith and Dwayne Martin doing their thing. Because if you remember with Tisha Campbell and everything, when she spoke about how what Lisa Ray experienced with her husband, and how him and Dwayne Martin became thick as thieves, and him and Dwayne would fly out and be out there partying by themselves and doing things, and she was in the dark. and she had no idea. Like introducing him to her husband was gonna lead to what it was, this weird behavior between the two. And it started to, come around full circle. And when he was getting a divorce from Tisha Campbell, and she saw the way Jada went, he took Jada to dinner and at his restaurant, and on like Mother's Day took her out, and she was just like, okay, like, so that's what they're doing, like in front of the world. Took Jada out, gave Jada a rose, the whole nine, in front of the whole world could see this. So when you see another man take another man's wife out to dinner, that's crazy. In the midst of an announcement of their divorce. Oh, absolutely. That's why Birdie tried to kill her. So when you see the situation hit the way they made it get hit, the way they presented it, um, I could see because he said Jada book was supposed to come out next year in 2024, but they rushed it when they knew his book was coming out. So Jada book came out at the same time as his. Well, if you look at his inner circle, Beanie Medina, Quincy Jones, these type of people that's in your inner circle, they have a different way of interacting. That's a different group. There's a reason why he turned down a successful movie to do 6 Degrees of Separation. That movie was chosen for Will. Brother Bilal was not messing around. And I don't know what's going to come his way. Like he could forget about anything in Hollywood. Um, this thing about Tasha K will not be picked up on TMZ. And you'll wonder why not. This is about a Hollywood actor and performer. But you won't see this on TMZ. You will not see this on TMZ. And you'll say, well, why? How would this not be on TMZ? This is Hollywood news. This is someone that's like his brother. This is his former assistant. Why wouldn't this be on TMZ? That's going to expose, when you don't see it pop up on TMZ, that's when you're going to know, whoa, this thing is powerful because they protect their circles. Because everybody's heard something. You see?
There was a couch, and Will was bent over on the couch, and Dwayne was standing up, killing him, murder, like for a second. With Will. Wrong, and that's when I see Dwayne and having anal sex with Will. Like him, right? So I open the door to Dwayne's dressing room, and that's when I see Dwayne and having anal sex with Will. Let me process that for a second. There was a couch, and Will was bent over on the couch, and Dwayne was standing up, killing him, murder, like murder. There was murder in there. Okay, what did you do? Even when I was Will. Let me process that for a second. There was a couch, and Will was bent over on the couch. I'm on walkie-talkie, and they calling my like, but I see his car there. I'm like, where's this guy at? So now I'm holding Dwayne down too, so I have the keys to his dressing room. So I'm like, yo, and they're calling I'm on walkie-talkie, and they calling my cell phone. Yo, we need to get Will here. I'm like, yo, kind of fuck down. Like, I'm trying to find this. Like, this is unlike him, right? So I open the door to Dwayne's dressing room, and that's when I see Dwayne and having anal sex with Will. Let me process that for a second. There was a couch, and Will was bent over on the couch, and Dwayne was standing up, killing him, murder, like murder. It was murder.
I'm sorry, y'all. Oh my God. Oh my gosh. Now I see why he left Philadelphia. And he got sent to Bel Air. My goodness. I got one little fight. Oh my God. So when Brother Bilaal came down and said these things, it's yeah, he was like, I'm disappointed. He's the one that's taking it. Like, I can handle it if he was the one just giving it out, but now he's taking it. Oh no. Hey man, look. First of all, this is really none of our business. It really isn't. But it's not like we went digging for this. You know, it wasn't like we're exposing Will. We're not. This is his former assistant, Jada Pinkett's former assistant, former best friend, Brother Bilaal, who's been there since like the first album. Since Parents Just Don't Understand. No, I'll still play Summertime now. Summertime's a hit. You know, he just probably was singing in Jazzy Jeff. No, let me stop messing with Jazz. Marcus Scott, if you was on the Patreon, you wouldn't even have to ask that question. Go to the Casino for Life Patreon and you'll figure that out. You'll get the answer to that question. And you'll see Jada didn't talk about it in her book, but, you know, homeschool became a real thing. Now, talk about brand new funk. That's what he meant. You want to dance? We got what you want. Jesse Jeff and Fresh Prince is hitting you with the brand new funk. The brand new funk. That is a brand new funk. That's a funk you don't want in your house. The real husbands of Hollywood. I told you, man. See, here's the thing. Like a lot of these people talk about all these Hollywood parties and all that. Trust me, they're only talking about initial like initiations. Like you're not invited to the real parties. Like I was at the Hollywood party that's like the introduction to the real party. I've been in that house. And I told you, we were standing by the door. that I was like, I don't like what this is. Like when you go in there's like certain rooms, it's like real like Rosie O'Donnell's there and people of that nature, and it's just things you're gonna see that's uncomfortable. But they do these things to test you, to see how you react to these things. And if you can't keep yourself together in these situations or these rooms, or you feel uncomfortable, like they know my black ass, I'm not getting invited to anything. They know already. They know already I'm not going to be invited. That's out. Okay? Nick Cannon, Kel, all these people, they were invited to go to this parties that was out in LA. And mostly Nick and Keenan mostly did these hanging outs. And they would go out, that group, they would go to the parties. And they'll go with the groups, Wesley, Jonathan, Megan Good, and mostly they all stayed in their circles, and they go together as a group. So Kel was with them. They went there because they went to promote the movie that they had coming out. So they're at the house, being seen and everything because it was, and this is how they ended up getting the own show. They were going to do the show anyway, but this is what the people that was going to finance it and really back it, the people at Nickelodeon and other people there, they're there. And they talking about making a movie and then doing a TV show. So before it became a feature movie, other people who are promoting the movie are in this room. So when you're there and you're around the money, there is a lot of things, like a lot of people doing activities and people are having conversations throughout. And there was nobody really doing that crazy in there. But when you know that there's other rooms and stuff is going on upstairs, they let you wander around so you could discover something to see how you're going to react if you discover it. I was weird. They knew I'm not the one to go to any parties. You can't take me nowhere like that. It's just not gonna, my whole vibe is not gonna be like, that's peculiar. I'm gonna be, what the fuck? Did you nigga? Did you act like you don't see that shit? Like my whole attitude is going to be over the top times 1,000. You would know, like I said, they know when somebody's not from LA, not Hollywood, not in the mix. They know. They 100% know. No mixing. There's nothing about it. They know that from me just going outside of Hollywood and seeing people. When we was walking by and just seeing all these people like they couldn't even move. The plastic surgery was so bad. This woman's head was so big. She like a big gigantic cartoon. Her eyes was up there. I was like, look at this man, the lady with the red coat. Look at the chick with the red coat. Like, what the hell going on with her? She looked like a walking cartoon. Look at her lip. Oh, Jesus Christ. She got like 45 double Z boobs, like way out of here. Her hair was way, it was wild. I was just like, we were in the restaurant. I'm just looking at people. I'm like, oh, these people, they look like weirdos. Even the dudes. I'm just sitting at the restaurant freaking out. Like, dude, the dude, you see this dude? It's like somebody just, he got a face and somebody just put another face on top of his face and tied it on. He's like, he can't even laugh. I'm like, dude, this is weird. It's like the dudes in the chair, like, is there anybody in here with their own face? It's a mess. Like, these people are not even actors. Like, I'm like, who are these people? You don't even know these people. Like, I've never seen you in no work, period. Who are you? Like, who are these people? So you would be freaked out. So when they were going to like the after party after that, they was like, oh yeah, it's another party that's going on. But yeah, Kev, you ain't gotta come. Like, no, you can sit this out. They was like, we only got an invite. We only got like a limited invite. So it's like we can only take like 3 people with us. And all the people that couldn't go was all the people like, nigga, did you see that? I'm like, yeah, you saw that? Everybody else was invited. We were never getting invited. That's why if you on the Patreon, you find out what happened with Kid Cudi. You find out with Kanye West and Kid Cudi and what the fallout really was about. You see, y'all, hey, it's a lot of stuff y'all don't know. This is why we have the Carcino for Life Patreon, so you can be caught up to everything. Like, this is no shock when Charlie Mack, who's the manager, and he's the talent scout. He was the bodyguard. Remember Charlie Mack? He's the first out the limo. Charlie Mack. It's too harsh for some. Yeah, when you come to reality, it's a hard fall to reality. See, Charlie Mack was the first out the limo. So I think tonight, probably, you're going to get the full version of what's happening here.
What will? Let me process that for or to Dwayne's dressing room, and that's when I see Dwayne and having anal sex with Will. Let me process that for a second. There was a couch, and Will was bent over on the couch, and Dwayne was standing up, killing him, murder. It was murder in it. Okay, what did you do? Even when I was.
So tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, TashaKLive.com. Check it out. Don't forget it tonight. This is going to be explosive. I see somebody from my Patreon is here. Cudi got left behind. Hey. Isn't it weird and funny that a lot of these people mention stuff and it'd be like breaking news and you be on my Patreon like, man, Sino said that 3 years ago on the Patreon. Like, we got everything from Dwight Howard to all that. Like, we've all known. Like the things he's saying is not shocking to us. What's shocking to us is that it's coming from his inner circle. Brother Bilal is like not somebody that don't know him. This is his assistant, not like somebody he picked up when he was rich and famous. This person's been with him since, like parents just don't understand. Like Brother Bilal's been there. I don't know who Tasha K owe and don't owe. So that's her situation with Cardi B and all that. And if she trying to get Cardi her money, she gonna do it tonight. Cause I think everybody finna watch that. No, but see, this is when you didn't know that about Cuddy or know what went on with Cuddy. Y'all don't really understand what happened to Cuddy. So when she figured that out, then you can take your own, draw your own conclusions to that. That's why you got to go to the Patreon and you'll know. Oh yeah. It's tomorrow. My fault. It's tomorrow. I keep thinking today is Wednesday. I'm so far ahead of everybody. Thanks for correcting me. It's Wednesday. The thing said Wednesday at 8. He said that's why Jeff keeps spinning records. No, they fell out a lot when Will started going to Hollywood. This behavior that he's talking about, you didn't see this come out until Will was in Hollywood. But this isn't hard to figure out. Beanie Medina is Will's longtime manager. The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air is his story on how he went from one project to he went to Beverly Hills and how he went there and stayed with his uncle and how he came up and then he turned his story, his life story, into reality. But finding who was going to play him and the character of him was Will Smith. And they ended up naming the show after him, the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. And it was made just like Parents Don't Understand. Like they wanted that Will. Parents just don't understand. They wanted the show to be made basically just like Parents Just Don't Understand. And that's how he was on the show the very first season. He was over the top silly. And, it was just obnoxiously silly in the first season. And then they started to season the show along to show some type of maturity, like because he was just a little too silly for the show. And it's like, you're annoyingly silly. And that's going to turn off a lot of people viewing this. And that show made Will Smith cool. Like, because he was never considered cool. He was the corny guy in hip hop. That's how they looked at him as he's corny. And that's how he was looked at. He didn't like associate with the ruffians, but they all be on tour. Like it'll be like Kid and Play, Will Smith and Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince, NWA, and Ice T and Ice Cube. You'd be like, this is the weirdest goddamn combination because it's not like it is today. Hip hop back in those days, they would only be allowed to perform in certain venues. So when they get a venue, they load the card up. And that's when you got to see real shows for $6, $9, $12 a ticket. You get to see everybody, like everybody on that bill. And that's crazy. Willis J, I'm gonna address this now because I felt I addressed it on the Patreon, but let me let you know because for being from Chicago, you guys should know. Chance the Rapper, that's not Chance the Rapper you see in that photo. The photo is not doc or anything. That's a real photo, but that's not Chance the Rapper. That is Chance's brother. That looks just like him. His brother is gay. Okay, his brother has come out as gay. So that is his brother that's kissing a guy that you see. That's not Chance the Rapper. Just so we'll have that clarity. So you would understand. All right. And a lot of people said, oh, that's Chance. Oh, that's Chance. Oh, that's Chance. So Chance's brother ended up coming out the closet, and revealing his own sexuality. Not that it was anyone's business, but that's what happened. Now, we clarified that for right. Well, that's his thing, that's his life, and power to him. Now, anyway, yeah, that's what you all want. Y'all want all black males. Come on, soon. When are you gonna come out? Yeah, of course. You want black men to be like that. Yes, the tickets were super cheap and sneak your food in sometimes and search guys, and they would still ignore your food. He's like, I was talking about the squeaky clean rapper part. Oh, I thought you was talking about. He's like, I didn't even know about that. Yeah, there's that photo that was out that everybody saw. Like, man, that's Chance. Chance kissing a dude. I knew it. But Chance and his brother look like twins, bro. For real. They look alike. And that was not him. But yeah, it was gonna mess him up here in the city and everything else because his father's politically tied. He ran for office. He's with the Democrats. That's why you see Chance in a whole lot of political things that he's involved in. So he don't even have to rap. Chance the Rapper is always gonna be all right. I mean, for right now, he can come out just like people get tired of getting blackmailed in the business, and that's when um, Wayne, what's his name, who just came out. The new thing now is pansexual, whatever the hell that is. Like I just have sex with anything I want. I'd be like, so I guess if you want to get it on with this remote control, you can. And yeah, Wayne Brady, he came out. Now Paul Mooney is somewhere in heaven talking about, I knew it. He made Brian Gump look like Malcolm X. I told you niggas. Y'all didn't want to believe it. I told you. I saw Wayne Brady and the way he acted after I said those words made it affect his entire life. I knew right then and there. Diva! So that's the new thing. Everybody say they pan and then pans are in. And I'm like, what? They touching a panda? What the heck is that? A Stephen A. Smith wig. He don't have any hair. His hair is running away from his face. They're like, get back, get back. His hairline started in the middle of his head. I'd be like, Jesus Christ. Pan just means you sleep with whatever you find attractive. Well, damn, that just means you're a person, ain't it? What do they gotta? So, I mean, damn. Ain't that what everybody do? Sleep with somebody they find attractive? I mean, I hate to be somebody that you sleeping with them. Be like, I don't find you attractive when I'm sleeping. Well, I don't know. I will never say I'm a pan. I ain't no Pan, Peter Pan, none of Shoot. Got the pansexual. What you gonna have now? The skillet. I'm the skillet sexual. They the pan. Then he a pot sexual. He only has sex with weed. Weed he find attractive. he sleeps with. He's a pot sexual. So we got pots and pans and skillets, all in the same kitchen. Oh my God. Man, y'all, this whole world is crazy. This world is crazy. Oh man. He said the sexual gumbo. So this is just, shocking to say the least. That Brother Bilaal, somebody who's known him and has been his assistant for years and been with him through his entire career. You know, that's weird. Now, you got to understand, Mark Anthony is involved in this situation also. Because Mark Anthony was married to Jennifer Lopez. Um, they got right. I mean, Jennifer's longtime manager is Benny Medina, and Beanie is special. And Beanie Medina and Mark Anthony. Mark Anthony had basically a sex addiction. He was married to another woman, and he was cheating on that woman in Puerto Rico. And she found out. He would get caught allegedly strung out. Um, Guy begged her to take him back. He made a mistake. His career was a mess. So he goes ahead. She takes him back. They get remarried again. They never divorced. They renewed their vows. They only been married for like 2 years. He renewed the vows. As soon as he renewed the vows, he was right back doing the same thing. And they thought everything was okay. Then Jennifer Lopez has a breakup, another divorce. She needs a quick rebound. She's on tour with Mark Anthony. And next thing you know, they're dating and they're a couple and they finna get married. And like it's serious now. They're the new couple. Like quick rebound. She is the quick rebound queen. She went from A-Rod to back to Ben Affleck like that. She was engaged to A-Rod. They were about to get married. And just like that, it was over. Now back to Charlie Mack, who was the first out the limo. Bro, we ain't gossiping. This is what was presented to us. This is in the news. Now, here's the thing. Jaguar Wright is from Philly. So she knows a lot about, especially about Charlie Mack. Charlie Mack, them, they recruit people from Philly. Like, cause that's where he's from. Like, they from there. So they look for talent to see who gonna be able to go to Hollywood and go under the mentorship of basically Will and Jada. You know, they find people from Will and them to mentor. They get them in the game, and those people become famous or whatever. They normally, stay within the circle. They do some movies for Will and things of that nature. And mentorship happens a lot in this business. It's a lot of people that Bill Cosby had been, helped out. Denzel Washington helped out. Uh, Chadwick Boseman uh, helped jumpstart his career in Hollywood. Mentorships happen. Sometimes they pan out. A lot of times actors don't pan out. They had a mentorship. Somebody took them under their wing and it was just too much for them. And some of them crack because they've seen too much. Now, one of the people that was under their mentorship was Bashir Gray. And Bashir Gray left their mentorship. And allegedly, he saw some things he didn't kind of like, you know. They got Bashir Gray to play on Empire. They got him that part. Well, he got. I don't want to take nothing from him. His acting got him that part, but they gave him the opportunity to stage for him to perform, and they were taking him under their mentorship. Another person that Will Smith took under his mentorship was Nick Cannon. I know because he was getting a lot of attention. And this was happening early in his career. When Will and us were all hanging out, they would all call Nick Cannon Will Smith. Young Will Smith, that's a little Will Smith. So Will Smith took attention to this and wanted to mentor Nick Cannon, which he did. He helped him. He's like, I want a truck, I want a car, I want this. And he got these things for Nick Cannon. Now you're gonna sit here and say, I'm saying Nick and Will had a relationship. I'm not saying any of that because I never saw that side from Nick whatsoever. But I don't know everything Nick does. But I don't know. Only thing I do know is he went from sleeping in his car to living with Keenan Thompson. Keenan had a 2-bedroom condo, and it was just him. So he let Nick stay in the other room. And that's why him and Keenan Thompson became boys for like life. So when Nick was blowing up, he made sure he always had a role for Keenan. Keenan was always going to be in his movies. But those two, they were like side by side. Mm. Well, the thing is, and don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the page, all of those things. First off, I don't know what he did to Bilal to make Bilal feel the way he did or feel the way he do and want to strike out and lash out. I don't know what he did. Um, to me, I just think, and I find it a little disturbing that he did this in such a way. Like, it feels like, okay, you're going to tell him about Will Smith's personal life. But what did Will do to you to make you want to tell something that Will was doing in the bedroom or in this trailer? That sounds like Dwayne Martin and Will Smith's private business. Like it didn't concern him. So for the point to him to bring it out to embarrass Will, what did Will do to you, Brother Bilal, to make you say, or besides saying, I don't like your services are no longer needed? Because then that means like you're being vindictive. So I don't know the motive, but I do know that that's Will's like personal bedroom activity. There's no lawsuit attached to this or a crime was committed. These are if this went down this way, these are two males engaging in their own activity. Thanks for the super chat, bro. Since the early 2000s. Yeah, there's always been that. It's the same thing with Eddie and Arsenio Hall. It was no difference then. There's a tape of Will Smith slapping a man that was out in like the early 90s. And I don't know whatever happened to it. It was like a paparazzi guy or something. But yeah, he slapped the guy outside. And it used to be this thing that you could buy. It used to come on these commercials. They would come on TV like Hollywood stars untamed. They'd be like having the paparazzi film, like, see, you can buy this right now. Get Hollywood stars gone crazy for $9.99. It was one of those. And one of them was Will Smith walking up to a paparazzi guy, and the way he slapped this guy, or it looked like a paparazzi guy, I don't know. But the way he slapped this guy was like the most feminine thing I've ever seen in my life. It was the worst. He was like, he hit the guy like that. Like he slapped up. I'm like, who does that? He was hit the dude on the face. Like, I'm just like, who does that? He was like yelling at the guy and he slapped him in the face like, I'm like, who hands goes up on a slap? Like, I'm like, you need to go to slapping school. And then you can see when he slapped Chris, he went and mastered the art of slapping because he probably had to do it in a movie. So he followed through the whole nine. He was Jim West. Yeah, so that footage has disappeared. You have never seen that footage again. I remember my boy was like, I know what you're talking about. I remember that. He's like, I thought that was Will Smith. He's like, didn't he have on like a black shirt? I'm like, yep. They was out on the street going to some event. And Will got into an argument with this guy and walked up to him and gave him a. I was like, did you see that? Who slapped? I said, never seen a slap like that in my life. He slapped him up. That's a whole different type of slap up. I'm like, oh my God. I've looked for that footage and could not find it for years. When Will Smith slapped Chris, I looked for that again. I said, I got to find that. That footage is gone. If somebody bought that tape, $9.99, where they got celebrities going wild on paparazzi, you gonna find it. He said that's a pimp slap. That's a pimp slap, what he did there. He said, man, this is a weird thing. I wake up to see them read the Quran in the Bible. Gotta cleanse my mind. Oh no, it's not that one. It's not the one when the guy was kissing him on the cheek and all that, and he gave him a little pop in the mouth. Man, what's wrong with you? Stop that. um, they don't they don't understand situations sometimes when it comes to when it comes to reality and it comes to the forefront that you are not who the public perceives you to be. Sometimes people they look at the characters they play, and sometimes the actors live up to the character. Like, that's me. Like, Sylvester Stallone is not Rocky Balboa. But he can't escape it. Wherever he go, they go, "Hey, Rock!" And he becomes Rocky Balboa for the fans because they love it so much. So they embody what people expect them to be. They become the people that you didn't expect them to become. They want to take any masculine black man and try to make him something that he is. I don't know if Will's doing that. He said that Wayne had Will calling him Uncle Phil. Uncle fill her up. Will taught Jaden well. Oh man, you must been on the Patreon. Well, I'm gonna say the apple don't fall that far from the tree. Oh, they are showing ads. Okay. Now, here's the situation. Did Jada and Tisha Campbell get along? No, they did not. They tolerated each other, but she always knew Jada and her were not friends. They took trips together, but they did not get along that well. At first, they did. But as Will got more popular, their popularity decreased, and she was more in tune with Dwayne than Tisha. Like, Dwayne was cool with them, and she hung out with Dwayne, but she was ostracized. Like, they tolerated her because of Dwayne. Because Tisha Campbell has the same type of energy. But Tisha Campbell wasn't going along with the program. Because Jada is into women and men. She says so in her book. So don't get mad at me, YouTube. She says it in her book. She was, of course, if you want to know who the women are, you can go to the Patreon. You go to the Patreon and find out for yourself. The Casino for Life Patreon is where it's cracking. Now, everybody knows for a fact that they thought Jaguar Wright was just crazy. She's not. She's crazy to a certain degree. The reason why Jaguar Wright knows a lot about what's going on because Jaguar Wright was in those rooms. Okay. I don't think she's tapped on it a little bit, but not as much as she should share. She's done a lot of drugs. I don't think she shared that. She dated a white producer who made records who was in those rooms because he did a lot of drugs himself and had to go through rehab and went through millions of his dollars. And while she was out there in Hollywood, in those rooms, in those houses, and watching these people do all these crazy things, and she was out there too because she was with this white producer who had millions of dollars, who was a DJ. She was dating him, and he was spending money on her. Now, who is the white DJ? I will tell you, Scott Storch. So she was dating Scott Storch while he was DJing at Madonna's party, Paris Hilton. So she was in all these people's houses when all this activity was going on. So Jaguar knows a thing or two. But I don't know how much she's willing to divulge. But yes, that is the person. Exactly. So those two were thick as thieves and used to do drugs and mess around and do all kind of stuff. She had slept with like half the people she was on tour with. So for her to say she dated Common, I don't think she was dating him. I think she just was messing around with these people. A lot of people she messed around with. Now, I don't know, man. They're going to have to figure that out. Absolutely. These situations are fast and heavy, and a lot of people are not privy to certain information. Now, being in the whole hip hop game and all of that stuff is not cranked up to be what everybody thinks it is. Why she say Mary J. Blige can't read? I don't know why she said that. Maybe she knows something. She knows Mary probably better than I do. But it's always centered normally around a man. Now, Jaguar Wright is what you would call a vocalist. She was a vocalist, but she ruined her voice with all the drugs and the drinking, just like many of them do out there on the road, getting down and doing the things that they do. And before, she spoke very highly of Jay-Z. Then she started to turn on Jay-Z. It was a recent. Then she started getting incoherent with things and starts having these spells where she just breaks out and starts throwing tantrum. And they ain't gonna end up putting her in a psych ward, keeping her on meds, messing her mind up. So when everybody think they're helping her by putting her on YouTube and letting her do these rants, and it gets them attention, but in the end of the day, it's hurting Jaguar Wright. So she was mixing things up. And I think sometimes she gets confused with her theory mixed in with what was actually happening. When you put your thoughts mixed in with you telling the story of what happened, then you have your own personal thought. Think about what's happening and you mixing that in the story of telling what's happening. You're going to now lead people down the road and they're going to say, well, that definitely didn't happen because That must be your personal view of what happened. And you're insinuating right here because this part goes left. So it's not like she's deliberately trying to deceive everybody. It's not happening in this situation, at least. She would be telling a story, and a lot of it is true. But then some, you tell one thing of your own personal view, and everybody discredits everything that you do. So when she mentioned Charlie Mack's situation, she would know. She was in Philly. She seen Charlie a lot with a lot of artists. People were giving money back to Charlie. He was their manager, or he's the talent guy to bring them out to Hollywood. If they were good enough or accepted enough by Will and Jada, they would go from the Philly ranks out to California to their house, stay there, get room and board, get taken care of, and get auditions for movies and things of that nature, and you get taken under the wing. But something happened with Bergier, and he's not really with them anymore. And I don't know what's happened to his career since then. Brashear Gray, and he's stayed quiet. He hadn't really said anything, but when Jaguar Wright brought it up and saying he saw something that went down at the Smith's house, and it shocked him, and he just reacted, and he wanted to come home and just came home. So that's something you have to get from Jaguar Wright and figure out more about what's going on. Now, after he did that, a lot of people said, well, a lot of the friends who know the guy, Brother Bilaal, there's something like off with him too. And that's what I'm trying to figure out. So I'm reserving this till I hear why Brother Bilaal is doing this. I mean, he went as far as to talk about Will Smith's anatomy and say a whole bunch of crazy disrespectful stuff, right? But my questions are this. When you said this, let's say Brother Bilaal is telling the truth. He walked in and saw Will in the dressing room doing that. What happened next? Because whatever happened next, you stayed. You stayed as the assistant. You stayed doing your job. You stayed Will Smith's best friend. That we know. Up until the time you became the ex-assistant. You have been cool with Will Smith at his book release. You're in a video with him, hugged up with Will on your IG. Now, you chose to do your brother, who's been basically right by your side since parents just don't understand until now. I need to know what he done to Brother Bilaal that was so bad that you would try to destroy his career like this when it didn't concern you. Here, if this is what you're saying is true, Brother Bilaal, what Will was doing with him, with Dwayne Martin, what they were doing to each other had nothing to do with you. Why would you feel a need to want to come out and say this about Will? What are we missing? That's what I hope to get from the interview. The smoking gun, the why. Now, there's going to be more to this that I think people don't understand or don't get. You know, he's been around the heavyweights, Brother Bilaal, but as an assistant and was a personal assistant for Will and at Jada too at one time. If I was to see something like that, I probably got to go work somewhere else. I'm serious. I can't. That's Will's business, you know. But I would have to go work somewhere else. The world, I don't think, needed to know this information about Will Smith. And why did he feel a need to tell this story anyway? Or deem it as important that the world needed to know that? Why did he feel a need to talk about Will Smith's anatomy with Jada and all that? Like, what is Brother Bilaal's axe to grind? That is the question here. That's the whole kit and caboodle. Because if you're his personal assistant, even as an ex, unless you was done, brother, I have quit jobs for less. I have turned down stuff because I don't want to be in those rooms. So no, sorry, bro. I know you probably just knew and don't understand, but yeah, I would walk away. I walked away from millions to be doing what I'm doing right now. Millions. I walked away from it. That stuff academics is doing right now, yeah, that would be me if I said yes. All I had to do was say yes, I accept. But I said no, I don't accept. I'll make my little bit. I'm cool. I'll get my millions another way. Yeah, if you want to call where I'm at broke, then cool. I'm broke. Broke it, broke. Broke been broke. I'm cool with that. I would deal with this broke level of broke than to be that level of that kind of rich. I don't want to be rich like that. Nah, I'll be broke like this than to be rich like that. Mm-mm. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do it to myself or nothing on the forefront? Well, some of them enjoy, it's like ducking the long arm of the law, you know? You ever see that? People say, oh, well, you're just ducking the long arm of the law. Really? Well, if you ask me, if I'm looking at it right now, if this was your best friend and you was an assistant and to betray their relationship, Will must have done something really bad to you to have to try to destroy his entire career or his entire existence, right? Now, you would think if Will Smith really didn't want this information out, he could have put out an NDAs, all kind of lawsuits to stop this man from doing what he's doing. But he put it out anyway, and Will just don't seem to care. And he feel that maybe Will's gonna come out the closet in about a couple of years and say he's bisexual or whatever. But if he do, if he don't, that's Will Smith's decision. Why are you trying to hijack Will's decision and make it for him? That's why I'm saying. My point is, this isn't a celebration of yay, Will's getting hammered. The thing is why did you feel a need, Brother Bilaal, to come out and destroy Will Smith? That's the question. This was your buddy, your best friend. Even like recently, when Will wrote his book, you were right there at the release. Your pictures is in Will's book. That's the crazy part. His pictures are in Will's book. But I don't know this to be true. Here's my theory to this. Get jiggy with it got a whole new meaning. Now we know what jiggy means. Get jiggly. No, here's a theory now. And this is just the way I'm seeing it. To me, Brother Bilaal looks a little suspect himself. In my opinion. I don't know Brother Bilaal. I'm just saying. The man looks a little sus himself while he's talking about other people. That's all I'm saying. That brother look a little sus. I'm just saying. I could be wrong. I don't want to throw that on the man, but I'm just saying. That man look a little sus too. So to be throwing some allegations around, I'm just saying. Oh yeah, we covered that, Stephen. His book was coming out and they rushed it to put her book out first and everything else. So I'm saying there's a lot that don't add up here. That's what it looks like, Julian. It looked like a jealousy thing. That's what I took out of it. Because to me, I'm just saying, that's my personal opinion. I don't know. I see some little bits of fruit in that basket, look like. I'm not saying, it's just my initial issue here. Might not be true, but it seems like that. So I need to know what that situation is because you came in the room, saw this activity, and stuck around and was still the best friend. That means they put the arm around you the whole nine. I would imagine that to be the case too. Well, that people already kind of knew about. Um, they were in a tryst with Roxy from 106 in Park, and we've already did the truth behind on that Dwayne Martin and Lisa Ray situation. Oh, don't forget to listen to me and Lisa Ray on the Patreon. That was an interesting conversation. Homeboy was mad. We didn't let them join in. Now, yeah, well, Roxy knew she would make a lot more money being an industry thought than working and doing, 106 in Park and doing all that stuff. No, shoot, Eddie Murphy had her. They both threw Roxy back and forth. Her and Raphael Sadiq, they both was nailing her at the same time. It was just crazy. They were just passing Roxy around, just passing around, passing like a cold. Go to the Patreon and find out. Chi-Town in the house, without a doubt. I'm the one with clout everybody up about. Check them out. Somebody said, you lying. Somebody on the Patreon already heard that. Are you serious? Cino don't have to lie about that. I'll give him a taste. Give you a taste. So he said, I heard a snippet some lives ago. Yeah, so oh, you talking about the modeling picture she took? And Hollywood is different, y'all. Shoot, what do you think Drake was doing with what's her name? The girl from Stranger Things. When she was like 16 and he was her best friend, they're texting each other, and everybody like, that's weird. Why is Drake texting her? Because in Hollywood, these people are like grown. They live, they go to clubs, they go to like dinner, they hang out at parties. Like they are into an adult world. Drew Barrymore was 10 years old in parties with adults doing blow at 10. She went from ET to doing lines. That's how it works, unfortunately. Now, I don't know what made him do it. Brother Bilaal decided to get up one morning and write a book. So maybe he was mad his services was no longer needed. And I can't tell you what made him do it. But till I have more information, I can't be on his side with this. Because, yeah, it's going to get a lot of attention. You're going to have a lot of people come out and say something. And it's going to sell you a book. But okay, those book sales, they're going to die out. This is going to be old news. You hot right now. And this is how Hollywood works, buddy. In case you didn't know, you're hot right now. You know, you're hot. You're the number one trending thing. And you're going to be hot for about a week. And they just wait you out. So once your week and your run is over and you had all this hoopla, that's going to die down. And then you got to go back to your life. There's 365 days of the year. This is going to last a couple of weeks. What are you going to do after the fact? How are you going to eat after that? Because believe me, the pipelines are going to be closed. A lot of them are going to be closed to you. Nobody in Hollywood is going to want you as an assistant. That life is over. Look at what you just did to Will Smith. It's a matter of time for you to do that to somebody else. Who's going to want you around them? Who's going to trust you? So you have already said to yourself, I'm cut off at the legs. So we're going to have to figure out and find out more as to the why that you chose to do this. Well, you shouldn't. I mean, he's all right with you. That's cool. Like, look, I watch Will Smith movies. I don't pay to see Will Smith get down with Dwayne Martin. That's not what I paid my money to see. So whatever he's doing with Dwayne Martin behind the closed doors is between Will and Dwayne Martin. We didn't ask for that information. We didn't go looking up that information. We heard about that the whole time, that they are lovers and all. We've all heard these were things since back in the 2000s. When he did 6 Degrees of Separation, these things is out. Will Smith played gay man in the movie. He was kissing on that dude. All of this stuff was out. So the thing is it's nobody's business, really. And the fact that it's nobody's business is the only thing that really matters. Because everything else is irrelevant. I already did a video on the Raiders. And the Raiders' problem, now that they got the right head coach in there, they seem to be doing the right thing. They went back to running the football. Yep, Tasha K on Wednesday night. She's going to premiere this interview. So everybody's going to watch it Wednesday night to find out what's going on and all of this situation that's happening here. What's the name of the book? It's called Will Smith's Demon Circle. Mm-hmm. He said during the latter parts of their working relationship, Will Smith was not his friend. He was Will's friend. So a lot of people that feel a certain way about the situation altogether, and when you start to see certain elements that's been implied, you started to see that there are going to be situations that you don't agree with, that transpires. Everybody's different. Nobody's the same. It's not anybody's business what Will Smith does in his personal life. Nobody really gives a damn. Nobody was really asking for this information. So Brother Bilaal putting this information out, yeah, it's going to get attention because people are like, whoa, It's going to catch some people off guard. But it wasn't like they were breaking the law. It wasn't like this was a harassment case where he was involved. He was the victim. Will Smith grabbed her cheek or something. And it's nothing like that. So where it was brought out to the public eye, and I can see why it was being exposed. The Dwight Howard situation was that situation. There was an actual lawsuit, and that's how it was brought to the public. So when he was talking about where I lay my wood ain't nobody business, it's like, dude, look, we didn't care where you laid your wood. We weren't prying into where you're laying your wood. This dude filed a lawsuit. you have to go to court. So they care where you laid your wood, not us. We're reporting on the human drama that was presented to us. Now, this was presented by Brother Bilaal himself from Will Smith's inner circle. Like, we've heard people come out and say that and speculate, but this is somebody with firsthand knowledge. And to betray that, it's a bad look on Brother Bilaal, unless he was the one that was actually, affected. Like, what did he do to you that was so bad that you had to stab Will Smith in the back when he kept you around as his assistant, since parents just don't understand? You go back since the beginning. And for you to disrespect that man like that, mhm, yeah, the industry is a mess. Yeah, y'all don't know why Eminem moved back to Michigan. Y'all find out why Eminem moved back to Michigan. He tried living in California and he moved right back to Michigan. Dwayne Martin always went on private vacations with Will. Um, First, it used to be Alan Payne. Alan Payne, Dwayne Martin, and Will Smith. Alan Payne was supposed to play in uh, Above the Rim, but that role ended up going to Dwayne Martin. Alan Payne played ball too. I think he's in the episode with Will playing against him in the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. They were best friends. Then he did Jason's Lyric, and he gets to see Alan Payne with Jada Pinkett. And he started to, well, that's a whole nother thing. I think we got that on the Patreon too. So yeah, y'all need to be on the Patreon. Y'all have been missing out. Y'all have been deprived. If you want to hear all this stuff, just go. Yes, G Money. G Money was supposed to have that role. Will got Dwayne Martin the role. Dwayne Martin always was a better basketball player than him. So they used to play all the time. Yeah. Will and Dwayne Martin became really tight, and Alan Payne and Will, they kind of went apart. Oh, thanks, Florida man. I'm gonna put some more picks today on the Patreon for today's games. They did not have an intimate relationship, and I told you guys why on the Patreon. But I'll tell you guys here, 100% factual that they did not have a intimate relationship, and she explains why in her book, and it's the truth. Jada has always dated ballers, people with money. She dated drug dealers. She dated Easy E. She dated guys who had money. You got to have flashy stuff. Pac was not the Tupac you guys remember. She was buying him clothes. He was bummy. He was a cool dude, but not, like she said, he wasn't the sexy guy that y'all see and all that. She's like, he didn't have all that then. He had dirty teeth. He didn't have a lot of clothes. Shoes was all torn up. He was just like bummy. And she was buying him stuff. She was like a big sister to him. So she was not interested in dating no Tupac. Like Tupac wasn't Tupac then. He was just a dude that was around. So now y'all remember Tupac because from being Tupac. So you're like, so everybody like, oh, of course she smashed him. But you got to understand when she was around Tupac, he was nothing compared to her. She's dealing with ballers and people who got bread. So Will actually bragged in his book that he played a joke on Jada by showing her Jason lyric sex scene she did with Alan Scene to her grandmother. That's crazy. I don't think that's a joke. That was part of his jealousy as to why him and Alan Payne don't really talk right now. Pac didn't have himself together, and shoot, Will had money. She flying on private planes and jets. She's always dealt with dudes with money, people that could take care of her and make sure she was straight. She did drug dealers, the whole nine. So This is what she came up under. So she was not finna go backwards. So they didn't have a intimate relationship like y'all thought. That just wasn't the case. Well, Alan was an actor. He wasn't a rapper. He was an actor. You know, he wasn't even doing the rap lyrics when they was doing the CB4 movie. He wasn't even rapping. Somebody else did the rapping. He was just lip syncing. He cannot rap. He'll tell you that right now. I can't rap. She from B-more, what you expect? That's right, Mizzle. I'm black, y'all, and I'm black, y'all, and I'm bliggity bliggity, and I'm black, y'all. Yeah, he actually did that. Straight out of Low Cash. His verse was hard on CB4. Yeah, I used to have that soundtrack. Them songs was hot. Sweat on my balls. You can feel the sweat from my balls. When my posse said we're rolling. Can't love a car unless it's stolen. Don't ask me what the price is. What's worth more than pussy ticking devices? And you can feel the sweat on my balls. You can feel the. You can feel the. Oh yeah, that was funny. But the better movie was Fear of a Black Hat, which is the same movie, same concept, everything. NWA, they was called NWH, and I don't know who stole whose idea, but Fear of a Black Hat, Rudy Kleindel's movie was way better to me than CB4. They had the lower budget and a better movie. Fear of a Black Hat was way better. Way better. NWH, Negroes with hats. Yep, Booty Juice. All the song they had was great. Booty Juice was a hit, and the other song, Uckum was right. Up the security guards. Instead of F the police, it was F the security guards. Oh my God. That song was hilarious. Alpha, that's right. F the security guard. Alpha, F the security guards. Man. Oh my gosh. You want to talk about the funny Fear of a Black Hat. Yep, that was better. It was the better version of CB4. Same concept. NWH. Negroes with hats. He was like, man, we don't have our hats, man. We can't go on if we ain't got our hats. We are performers. Where's our performers' hats? How about we don't do the hats today? He's like, what? Yeah, the hat thing kind of played out. Why don't we start doing a new look? He was like, if we don't have our hats, we Negroes without hats. That's a whole different group of Negroes. Oh, because I'm human. I am just like you. You are just like me. We both stand or sit when we pee. I'm only human. I'm just a human being. When I do, is that not like brown? It's a universal thing. We all flush it down. When you wipe, do you look at the tissue? Most people do. It's not even an issue. Man, I swear that movie is a classic. Fear of a Black Hat is always going. I got it on my thing on DVR. If Fear of a Black Hat ain't going nowhere. It come on only at 5 o'clock in the morning. on if you catch it on any type of sting, boy. Yeah, I know. NWOH. Black men don't sleep with each other. Yeah, hey, that's a hard statement. He said black men don't sleep with each other. That's a hard statement. It's a bold statement and it is laid out flat. He said black men don't sleep with each other. It just, man, that hit hard for some reason, didn't it? That was like a blow to the chest, like the old pops hitting you in the chest. Boy, black men don't fight with each other. Boy, that hit hard through the text. MC Stammer. I dropped the MC. Now I'm just Stammer. No, because Will and Jada, like they still was friends. Like after that and everything, like Will is have his inner jealousy. Like I told you, he was jealous of Tupac. He saw the energy Tupac got with Jada and they bond. He was super jealous. And y'all thought I was lying all those years. And then when he went on the Breakfast Club and admitted, yeah, I was kind of jealous. I was like, they was Sino, you was right. How the hell you know that? I'm like, dog, I'm not 5. I, I know what went down. People talk, they, as you can see, his trusted homeboy here is sitting here spilling the beans. And it's like, why is he spilling the beans now? Is Will gonna sue her? I don't know. I think Will at this point is like, I don't give a damn what y'all do. Like everybody's taking shots at Will now because he slapped Chris. So it's like at this point, he probably like, I don't care. Well, he probably did sign an NDA. I'm quite sure everybody who's an assistant signs an NDA. He's probably at the point where he's just like, I don't care about the NDA. Just you're gonna have to sue me or whatever. Some people are like that. They want the attention more than the money. They want the fame. You ever see those people be like, I don't want any money from him. I'm not suing him for money, so it's not about money. I mean, then okay, well, so other people are gonna be paying you for interviews. So it is about the money. You just like, I don't want it from him, but you're gonna get it from somewhere. You won't know notoriety. Some people want their head, they name and headlines. They want to be talked about on social media, on Facebook, on YouTube, anything. You've seen that here on YouTube. You get people just mention you, you're not even famous. And they want to talk about you because you got more views than they get. So, you know. Mm-hmm. Oh, me and Lisa Ray. Yeah, it's on the Patreon. I don't know if you can see that, but yeah, it's on the Patreon. I played at you a snippet. Y'all didn't hear that? Didn't y'all hear the snippet I played from the Lisa Ray? Will didn't make him sign an NDA after seeing what he saw. There's more to the story than that. Oh, you couldn't hear it? He said, yeah, I heard it. So yeah, it's low. Well, that's probably why you just couldn't hear it. If you considered it low, that's probably because of the audio, the way it's all hooked up. But yep. Uh, Let me do it this way. I know how to do it. I'll give you a snippet. I'm like, we got to sit here and negotiate over tables. I can walk into the store, say, man, I want to get this set, and then I can get it, and I don't have to worry about a discussion, a meeting, or do you like it, and all that. I'll be, that's why she can have her house. I have my house. She could buy whatever stuff that fits over there that she like.
Well, guess what?
What?
I am through with this conversation. This conversation with you is exhausting. I'm for real. This conversation with you is exhausting. It is.
Oh my goodness.
It is. You are draining me with just this conversation.
So you can hear it there. So yes, that's on the Patreon. Patreon only. Well, I took Jamie Foxx girl. So like way back in like 98. I took Jamie Foxx girl. So that's been known. That's how I learned a lot about Jamie Foxx. That was like New Year's of 98 or New Year's of 99, like bringing in 1999 or something. Dude, this is documented fact. He didn't seem to care when it happened. Nah, he didn't care. Why would he care? The thing was, Jamie Foxx, I ran into her because she was actually yeah. See, the thing is, she was meeting Jamie Foxx. He was, doing a show for New Year's, so she was in town for that. I knew her sister. Her sister stayed here and went to high school with my friend. So her sister was like a senior in high school or something like that. And I knew her sister, and her sister wanted me to give her a ride down there. She was meeting them at the hotel for New Year's. So this is after the ball drop. I was at another party for when the ball dropped, and the chick that was supposed to be for me ended up going to another party with somebody else, was another group. So I basically got stood up that night. Now I met her, Jamie Foxx's girl, because that was the girl's sister prior to her going out with Jamie. She's like, Jay was at the hotel. She's like, I'm finna stop and see my mom and my sister. So she came over there, and that's how I got introduced to her, met her, and she was talking with me. And she was an actress too, but she only did commercials. She did a lot of stuff that was pilots, and it never made it to like the big screen. He never picked the show up, so she'll just go film another pilot, do some commercials. So being with Jamie Foxx is probably the biggest thing she's done in acting. This girl is mixed. She's black and white. Her mom's white, her dad's black. So her and the sister, they both were, just hanging out and partying and all this. And the sister said, "Can you take me down there?" We're at the hotel down there, and I was like, she's like, "My sister is coming down there, like she's leaving. So I'm finna go meet them down there, but I need a ride." And I was like, "Well, I just left this party. I could take you down there." So I gave her a ride down there to the hotel downtown Chicago. And the sister's there, and she's giving the rundown on her and Jamie Foxx having a fight. After the ball dropped and all this, they go to the after party to keep partying, and he's just treating her like complete garbage. And she was sick of it. So he was like, "Look, you can get the F on if you want to. Don't you got family here? Get lost." And she remembered they had a party that they were having at the hotel. So her cousin's there, and he got his girl, like her cousin's there with his girl, and everybody got somebody they basically with at this big suite they got downtown for New Year's. So everybody went out kicking. Everybody going back to the after party because the ball didn't drop. So everybody on that floor is popping bottles, all kind of craziness, right? So she comes in, and the party, she's like, "I want the party turned up." So she was just wild, ambitious, and she was talking about what happened with Jamie, and she starts running down all the stuff about Jamie's business, personal business, and how weird he is in the bedroom, all that crazy. So I knew all this stuff about him from her, and I'm just like, damn. So when all this stuff was coming out about him and all this stuff, I'm just like, y'all have no idea how crazy this thing really goes. But that's his business, with her and all that. That's their business. Don't nobody care. Yeah, so she just wanted to go out and have some fun, and I ended up hitting that chick, and even though the sister was in the way, I like she was just in the pictures, is in the whole thing, like, "Hey, this is my friend." I'm like, "Girl, you're in high school. Like, go be a high schooler. Go sit over there. You shouldn't be here." And she's like, "I know him. He's my friend." Like, I barely know you. I know you through somebody. You go to school with them. They said maybe he's writing this book to prevent others from losing their soul by compromising their value for fame and money. That sounds like a good idea, Stephen. I mean, that's a good way to say I'm writing a book, but I'm finna go out here and say Will Smith was getting hammered in the back. And I mean, I don't see how that's gonna prevent others from selling their soul. Walking in and seeing them get hit in the back, and then you just say, "Hey, I'm gonna stay." It went like this happened last week, and he said, "I'm out." No, no. Well, see, here's the thing: when you actually see the situation that was going on, she was quite interesting. She wanted to experience things that she's never experienced before, like be the rebel, to go out and be just, I'm just going to do what I want to do and screw him. She wanted to do that. The sister's just happy she's with her cousin and her sister, and she can just be wild. That's all she wanted to do. So it made more sense for them to go that route than anything else in the world. Mm-hmm. Oh, somebody has something. That's funny. Somebody just sent me a clip. Damn, we've been on here almost 3 hours, like a goddamn Avengers movie. All right, hey, this ain't 3 hours worth of attention. Let me get the hell up out of here and start getting started, man. Y'all enjoy the rest of y'all morning. I got to get ready to get things in motion here. I'll holler at y'all. Thanks for supporting the channel. Shouts out to Kwame Brown Bus Life. Welcome to HD, Two Eyes TV, Armando Black TV, Ticket TV, and the Jag Sports with Jose Rodriguez, Damn D Beefs, One Crack News, and we up out of here, man. I'll see y'all on the Patreon. If y'all on the Casino for Life Patreon, we'll tackle a lot of this there, because it's a lot I gotta say.